Welcome to our second annual Dancers Forum, the evolving world of dance. My name is Joanne DeVito. I'm the West Coast Administrator for Career Transition for Dancers. Our mission is to help dancers at the beginning, middle, and end of their career. And we do this with career counseling, grants to go back to school and start new businesses. We have the Sono Asato Advanced Education Grant. And we also have forums like this with our career counseling and also career conversations, workshops, and our national outreach project. Now, all of this is free to the dancer, and we're here to inform and educate dancers on their options for the future.
Hi, I'm Keith McNutt, and I'm the director of the Western Region of the Actors Fund. We've been helping people in the dance community for more than 130 years all across the country. Call on us if you need help with affordable housing, health insurance, sideline work, money management, or financial assistance around any kind of crisis that comes up in your life. We're called the Actors Fund, but we're here for everyone in the performing arts.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou Westerfield, Assistant Executive Director for Actors Equity Association and Regional Director here in the West. I'm also a founding board member of Career Transition for Dancers, which was born out of a committee at Actors Equity. I'm thrilled to be here today to encourage dancers, our dancers, wherever they are, whatever venues they perform in, whether they're in transition now or whether that transition is in the future.
Hi, my name is David White, National Executive Director of SAG-Aftra.
And I'm Terry Beecher, the National Director for Specialty Performers at SAG-Aftra.
We'd like to welcome you to the second annual Dancers Forum. As most of you know, SAG-Aftra is the union that represents professionals like you who strive to make a living in front of a camera and behind a microphone.
As a matter of fact, the very first contract negotiated by the merged union was the industry-wide music video agreement that covers dancers.
That agreement and that negotiation was successful because dancers like you put in tremendous time and energy to make sure that your voices were heard at the bargaining table. And we're still very proud of that event. We know that today is going to be successful and will inspire and hopefully educate each of you in the way that your artistry inspires and educates people around the world each and every day.
Hello, my name is Jill Seltzer, and I'm the Executive Director of the Screen Actors Guild Foundation.
I'm Rochelle Rose. I'm the National Director of Actors Programs. We're thrilled that you're here to join us for what promises to be a fantastic, career-empowering and fun evening.
The Screen Actors Guild Foundation provides educational programming for members of SAG-Aftra, Equity, and the community at large because of our live-streamed and archived events. Tonight's event is a perfect example of how enriching it is for the Screen Actors Guild Foundation to collaborate with other organizations. Please have a fine evening.
Kat Deeley has presented 10 seasons of So You Think You Can Dance. She has been nominated for 3 Emmy Awards and been also nominated for plenty of Teen Choice Awards, as well as winning a BAFTA Award. I feel like Nigel Lythgoe really doesn't need any introduction. We all know who he is. He's excelled at everything he has put his mind to: dancing, choreographing, as an executive producer and director. His show, So You Think You Can Dance, has been nominated for 11 Emmys, and of course, American Idol has been nominated for over 70. He really has revolutionized the world of dance and made it a very exciting prospect for the world today. And he is also a great philanthropist. Idol Gives Back has raised over $170 million, and of course he's one of the founding members of the Dizzy Feet Foundation. It is our great pleasure to introduce Kat Deeley and Nigel Lythgoe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello there.
Evening, thank you. Thank you.
Hello. That's a lovely evening.
That's nice.
Very nice indeed.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Thank you.
This feels slightly weird. This could be the moment to ask for a pay raise or something like that, couldn't it? Now I'm in company. But just so everybody sitting here who maybe watches the show but doesn't know your background, what's your background as a dancer, Nigel? When did you
I started dancing when I was 11. I was inspired by an American guy called Sammy Davis Jr., and I wanted to go to tap, and I started tap classes.
Yep.
I did reasonably well, did competition dancing, came back with, little cups and awards. And my teacher said, you've picked this up really well. You should, if you want to consider a career in dancing, you should really do the proper thing and start classical, as that is the best base for dancing. And I did, and, I picked it up quickly. It was something I wanted to do. I left school when I was 16 and took 2 years solid of everything. I mean, stuff that no one's ever heard of. We had to do, if I go through our little curriculum, it was obviously ballet, jazz, ballroom, tap, a thing called classical Greek.
Would you like to see a bit
which-
of classical Greek moment? I think, because I can't picture it, Nigel, that's my problem.
God, thank you so much. Classical Greek was based on classical Greek urns.
He's getting up.
And the hips. wait, don't applaud, you haven't seen what I'm going to do yet. The hips face one way and the body faces the other. So you get almost like a Latin American paso doble feel to it. But you know how on the relief of vases you get that thing?
Yeah.
Then there are all strange steps like foot pads, which are sort of on the balls of the feet like this. And then you go around the stage throwing your spear and hurling your discus. And they do little things like, what was it called? Kamat. Step Kamat. Step Kamat.
Careful.
So, yeah.
That was pretty good.
It was a very strange thing. But it was very allied with ballet, but with turned-in feet.
Right.
Then we did character. And character was very much like mime, pantomime. And you would be the Sorcerer's Apprentice. How would the Sorcerer's Apprentice dance? You would be Gulliver, and you're pulling the boats in, and they're throwing spears at you. How do you react, and how do you dance at the time? Which, again, helps your creativity, because you have to do it. You're not just given steps, you know? And then, I can't remember, but it was all, National. National was a really interesting one. You'd have loved it because they do Russian folk.
If you've ever seen our show, we're not fans of
We're not fans of Russian folk.
What the folk.
But
yes.
you do Russian, you do Greek, you do Italian, the tarantella, the gopak, the trepak, everything that now break dancers are doing was really done in Russia hundreds of years before. You know? So it was a really good grounding to when I became a choreographer to change style. For each thing that we were doing.
Which means that you were a perfect kind of judge on the show as well, because you've done a little bit of everything, really.
I've forgotten everything, though. And they're coming up with so many more things now.
Yeah. Do you think dancers are athletes these days, then?
No question about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely no question about it.
Back then?
Our idea of warming up was a cup of hot chocolate sitting on a radiator with a cigarette. I mean, that was...
He's not advocating it, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I think later on, it'd be nice to talk about how healthy you now have to be as a dancer.
Well, how healthy do you have to be? Because, of course, a dancer's career is normally very short.
Yeah.
As
a professional dancer, you mean?
Yes, absolutely. And normally people get injured. So what can people do to kind of take care of themselves, and what can choreographers and teachers do to take care of themselves?
Well, I mean, obviously, as you rightly say, you can get injured without doing anything. Alex Wong is here, and he's, already, the amazing thing with Alex was he was doing some jumps in second with pointed toes and then down and then flexed toes, as I remember, and his Achilles just snapped. Took 9-10 months to get yourself back together again. And then the night before he was coming on the show as an all-star, the night before, he did it again on the other leg. So whatever you do, whenever you're in any form of athletic venture, you can get injuries without doing anything.
Yeah.
I think injuries are also, we don't do enough about the dance floors, the floors that we actually dance on. They can really create problems unless they're sprung, certainly with ballerinas, and you don't want them slipping on point, ankles are going to go.
Yep.
obviously, the other thing where we all get a bit lazy, if we're not dancing that day, we're not going to do a class.
Yep.
Wrong. Wrong. You need to do a class whether you're going to be dancing or not. Just keeps everything there, just keeps all of the muscles. The one thing, I did a tap routine, Debbie Allen choreographed for me a couple of years ago. The first thing that goes, it isn't a muscle, is the brain. I could not remember how to put steps together. I just couldn't hold on to it. It was like, you know, I'd do it, and I know what I was doing. Oh, that step, okay, we'll do that step. All right, fine. And cue music. What the?
And the opening sequence this time, remember that? No, the bit that you did with Blueprint?
Nightmare. Nightmare.
You're practicing in the office, I remember.
So, you know, you need to keep things going, whether you're going to do it or not, because the body just gets used to it, and you need to keep that body like an athlete's.
Yeah.
Obviously, smoking is dumb. We all know this now, and still so many dancers still smoke. I still see them outside go, and I must be honest, I used to smoke 3 packs a day. 3 packs a day as a choreographer too, because you were always doing that and then putting it down, and then you'd be doing something, you come back, there was no cigarette left, oh, let's light another one. It was dumb, and I had a heart attack in 2003 due to smoking. I'm absolutely sure about that. And I quit like that the minute that I came to and I realized I was still alive. It's just a shame, though, that you need something like a heart attack to stop you smoking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's really dumb.
Let's talk a little bit about the audition process on the show.
Yeah.
What makes someone stand out for you?
A uniqueness, and that can be either the way they look, the way they dance, the way they talk to me, because don't forget, especially on a show like So You Think You Can Dance, personality is almost more than technique is needed. The public fall in love with the person rather than the dancer. And so we're constantly looking to balance the two. We're trying to elevate dance and keep the integrity of dance, at the same time realizing that the American public doesn't always go for the best dancers.
Yep.
We see it every year. Last year, Eliana and Keon were both in the bottom 3 for weeks, and the judges were keeping them up and saving them, and they both eventually went on to win both the male and female section. This year, I think we've got it with Mackenzie. Mackenzie, absolutely beautiful dancer, stunning looking girl. America is not getting her for one reason or another, personality. So, you know, it's that little light switch that if that's turned on when they walk on that stage, it means more than their technique. And don't forget also, we try and find the best people in their genres. We never put the best 20 dancers that we see into the program because they would probably all be contemporary dancers. So we've got to put ballroom in there. The show is about changing styles and introducing America to all different styles. And so it really is a casting process, if anything.
Yeah.
And there's that lovely, I don't know if you remember a story I told you ages ago, which was Jerome Robbins. Yeah, we know that one of the worst things about America, by the way, is you have forgotten most of the brilliant talent that has gone back in the past. I mentioned to some kids the other week, Shirley MacLaine, they went, who?
Oh, I love her.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
And same with American Idol. It's not just about dance. You know, Fantasia Barrino, a fantastic singer, had never heard of George Gershwin, never heard of Porgy and Bess, never heard Summertime, until we gave her the song. And then she sang it brilliantly and went on to win. So it really is very narrow cast, very narrow cast. If you listen to your radio, it is, you know, this or it's that. There isn't this huge band of music that there always used to be. You know, Frank Sinatra would be in the charts with the Beatles, in the charts with the Rolling Stones, and Mantovani and his Music of the Mountains, you know. Now it's this and it's that, and it's blurred lines that I love, by the way.
Yeah.
You're a good girl. Okay, that's
Deep
why I was a
breath.
dancer.
Focus.
Yeah, yes, sorry. But Jerome Robbins did this exercise, and it's absolutely fantastic. He'd say, okay, stand there, and now draw yourself a circle on the floor in your mind, and now think of it as a cylinder. And now pick up that cylinder from inside, from your core, pick it up mentally, and now walk forward with it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Walk forward with it. Okay, good. So they do that for a while. Now, make that circle bigger. Let's make it a 10-foot circle. Okay? Fill it out. Fill that out. Pick it up and walk forward. At the end, and I'm cutting this short, but at the end of the time, he said, right, make the theater that cylinder. Fill that theater with you. Now walk out on that stage, and there you are. Now you've got contact with the audience. Now everyone in that audience thinks they're looking at you, and you are looking at them. And it was that magic. And it does. It makes you, if you fill that room with your presence, you have to be noticed. And when kids walk on the stage like that, I don't care if they dance like crap.
Yeah.
They're going to get put through to at least choreography or something else because they've got it. That little switch is turned on and it's burning out of their eyes.
And it's that star quality as well. It's like that indefinable.
You can't give it
something.
charisma.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell calls it the X Factor. It's much better than the X Factor, but
Ooh, I thought you'd given up the boxing and moved into dancing.
but it is. It's a bit of magic,
Yeah.
and it's something that every dancer needs. And it really, I think it's easier to find as a dancer because you know that feeling that you get when just you become the music and you can just feel everything working for you, and it just lights you up. If you can maintain that, you'll have a wonderful life. Never mind dancing. It means that you've actually felt and communed with the spirit, and it's wonderful.
Okay, now let's talk about bad auditions. What are the worst mistakes people make? You sitting there, you see it all. What are the worst mistakes people make when they're walking into that audition room and they want it? And also, how do people deal with the rejection?
Well, every dancer deals with rejection all the time. You have to be able to deal with rejection. That's the first and foremost thing as a dancer. You are always not going to be right for one job or another. Fact of life. It isn't, and don't take it personally, and don't think that it's the end of the world or you're not good or anything else. You just weren't right for that job. That's it.
Yeah.
And move on. Shrug of the shoulders, pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Start all over again.
Yeah.
The worst thing is when you walk on a stage and your name's Sex.
Oh, don't. That brings back terrible memories.
For the people that didn't watch So You Think You Can Dance in the early days, we had a young man called Sex who had this long hair and he couldn't dance, and his mum used to come and really shout at me for not giving him the opportunity. And I mean really shout. The language was amazing. He wasn't sexy. I mean, for Mary Murphy, it was the first time she had sex in 6 months. So at the same time, I'm really happy when people just want to get up on stage and move. So I had to try and find a line where we weren't really going to, take the mickey out of him, but we also had to be real with, you won't get on the program dancing like that, but great, continue. But the abuse that would come back from it was
But you know
amazing.
what, we're always very kind of, if people enjoy dancing, absolutely, go to weddings, go out with your friends, really enjoy it. Let yourself rip on the dance floor. We love it, but just don't do it professionally.
If you think about it, I think about 3% of the people that go to dancing, become dancers, only 3% actually become professional dancers.
Yeah.
And we should talk about that because people do give up and they shouldn't give up.
What do you think they should do then?
Well, that's, we've got transitions for dancers here. It's not just about, it's not just about getting old and thinking, I've got to move on.
Absolutely.
I became a choreographer when I was 21, so I transitioned from being a dancer into a choreographer. I transitioned from being a choreographer into a director. I then transitioned into becoming a producer. So that was going on all of my life. You don't have to be a dancer all your life. At some point, I think we've all got an honesty about us, that when we have been rejected and never had a job, at some point you have to look in the mirror and say, well, maybe I'm not right to be a professional dancer, but I don't want to give up dancing. What can I do? Can I become a dance photographer? Can I become a choreologist and write down the dance? Maybe can I go into physiotherapy because I know what a dancer does? Can I become a choreographer? Mia Michaels never got a job as a dancer. Nobody would employ her. She was too big.
Yeah.
She said, screw you. She did.
Probably even more than that. No, Mia Michaels, I would say a lot more than that.
I was being nice because there are a lot of young people. All right, she said, no, all right.
Thank you.
She said, really, in her heart, she said, I'm going to make this work. She's obviously a very good teacher. Her father was a teacher.
Yeah.
They had a studio. And she became one of this country's best commercial choreographers for me. I really think she's tremendous. And this is from somebody who never got a job as a dancer. So there are many things. Do you like drawing as well as dance? Can you paint dance? There are so many areas of dance. You become a teacher of dance. Become anything that, you know, maybe you want to go into serving the community, and there are community programs regarding dance that you can get involved with. Just because you are not going to become a professional dancer, I don't believe you should give up dance in your heart. Even, I mean, I have people saying, my dad wants me to be a dentist, but I want to be a dancer. Well, you can do dancing dentists. No, what's wrong with that? You don't want him doing anything with you don't want him doing anything while he's drilling, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with you dancing in your own time. I don't know why we give up dancing, you know, just because we're doing something else.
Yeah. What do you think is the evolution of dance now? What do you think? Where do you think it's going next?
Where would I like it to go, or
Yeah.
where do I think it's going?
Well, both. Give us both. Where would you like?
Okay, my fear,
Yeah.
and this is a fear, is that we're coming to the end of our life with So You Think You Can Dance. Dancing with the Stars is losing viewers. We're losing viewers. It's just, things are cyclical. Australia is just bringing So You Think You Can Dance back after it being off the air for 3 years. It'll come back, but there are times where the public just want to move on and see something else. It's not a bad thing, but we've had now 10 seasons along with Dancing with the Stars, along with America's Best Dance Crew. Is that off the air now? So we've lost that now. So we've had this period of time. What happened in Australia when this started was all of the societies got together in Australia. I suppose it's like NDEO here, you know, the National Dance Education Organization, Transitions for Dancers, everything, all coming together in Australia, and they said, while dance is now in the public arena and people are loving dance, what can we do? What plans can we make for dance after this is gone? What can we do? And they made a 4-year plan, and they did it by, you know, how can we help companies? How can we move companies around Australia? How can we help scholarships and dancers? How can we create an accreditation for teachers? How can we put down a national examination criteria, rather like the UK has got ISTD, RAD, DTA and everything else? How can we do that in our country? And they made this 4-year plan, and it's coming to fruition now as we speak, and it's really helping. I would love to see that happen in this country. This country is so huge with so many differing opinions in your own states that it's really difficult, I'm sure, to try and get it together. But there's no harm in trying. There is no harm in trying to bring all of these organizations together. I'd love to see hip-hop be given a syllabus, a curriculum, if you like. There's so much going on in hip-hop that it's inspiring, and it's been one of the best things that's ever happened, I think, where So You Think You Can Dance brings formally trained dancers together with street kids. It just inspires both, and it gives us this incredible dancer nowadays. I'd love to see that put down. I'd love to see certification done in this country for all the different forms of dance. But what I'm frightened of is the minute we're off the air and other programs like us are off the air, dance is going to be forgotten again. It's just going to be forgotten. And we'll go back, and this is the time we should be taking advantage of the public enjoying dance, and certainly guys now are coming up to me, dads are coming up to me saying, wow, I didn't want my son to be a dancer, but they're really athletic, and I wanted him to be a quarterback, but wow, he looks great when he does that double tour in the air and lands in half split, you know.
But there's this stereotype of male dancers, I think. I think there's still...
I don't know where it came in.
I don't know where it came from, and it still exists a little bit.
It certainly came into England, and you know, up until 1968 in England, you weren't allowed to be gay. I mean, you were thrown in prison. If you were gay, you were thrown in prison, which is, you know, now you think about it, it's utterly outrageous.
Yeah.
In Russia today, is it the same? So, well, no great shakes there, really, is there? But at least in Russia, they have the Red Army that are brilliant dancers, and nobody says you're gay to the Red Army. The Georgian state dancers, there's no, you know, no worries about, there's no stigma attached to it. Suddenly, I don't know when, the 50s, 60s, a stigma sort of came in. Nobody said, Fred Astaire, what's, you know, what's your...
Gene Kelly,
Gene Kelly.
athletic.
It's, nobody said, you know, what is your sexual preference? What the hell has it got to do with anybody? Did they, Patricia? They did? Patricia Kelly is here. Gene Kelly's... They questioned him when he first started or later on?
All the way through.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way through. In fact, there's a big TV guide cover. He's up on the cover at the top of the Empire State Building, and it says, "I am no sissy," because he was constantly called a sissy. He was beaten up as a little kid coming home from dancing school, and he was. I'm often people. One of the questions I'm asked most often is people just say, "Well, he was gay, it wasn't he?" And so it never vanished, sadly.
So I've never understood really how, and you know, number one, it doesn't matter if you're gay. No. But number two, why is anybody talking about your sexual preference to do with dancing?
And when you can dance like
you
Gene
don't
Kelly.
go, yeah.
Why aren't you talking about
But
his
why are you talking to anybody about it?
Yeah.
What we do in our private lives is what we do in our private lives.
Yeah.
Whether we want to dance, whether we want to become a dentist. Anyone go into the dentist and say, are you gay? Nobody.
Yeah.
Why on earth is it, somehow it's got to, I suppose, the airline stewards and dancers. And you go, well, what's it got to do with you? Whether I am or not, I don't care.
Yeah.
In so many cultures, like it's only in Western cultures.
It's only,
Africa or
oh,
Latin countries.
Shaka Zulus.
Yeah.
Zulus, the most
Warriors.
feared warriors in the world,
Yeah.
come at you with their spears, and they've got this incredible dance. And, are you gay? I don't think you'd ask. I don't think you'd ask them. It's something strange. Georgian state dancers. The guys there that do all these incredible leaps and spin on their toes and dance on the toes. Sensational.
Yeah.
Two men dancing together, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't understand where it came into the Western world. It did. It's a stigma. It's hopefully we're slowly getting rid of it.
I think it is like, even when we do the auditions and I talk to some of, you know, the contestants that are coming on the show, and it's getting less and less and less, the stigma that's attached
and we
to it.
always say, be strong. When you
Yeah.
go on stage, be strong.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not interested in your preferences. Be strong when you go on that stage as a dancer.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly called homophobic because I say that. And I've got the gayest show on television, and I'm supposed to be homophobic. My best friend's Adam Shankman, and I'm homophobic.
Now, talking of Adam Shankman, you, he, Katie Holmes, Carrie Ann, you all formed Dizzy Feet together, didn't you?
Dizzy Feet Foundation, yeah.
And that's why did you form it?
We come across so many kids when we audition that are so brilliantly talented.
Mm-hmm.
We also obviously get their background stories. And they're the most horrific background. You can't write these stories.
No.
Do you remember Marco? Do you remember the dancer Marco? Yeah. He's still dancing with the bullet in his shoulder.
Oh.
So, I mean, you would not believe half of the stories that we get to see and read and hear. And you think, my God, dance has taken this kid out of that environment that they were in, or the drugs,
or the gangs,
or the gangs,
or the prostitution, like the
or the
full-
bullying.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's bullying, and bullying because of what we've just been talking about. If we could take this person out and give them the opportunity of dancing, they may become, good enough to be on the show. At this moment, they're not good enough to be on the show, but we can help them. So it came out of that, basically, and a feeling that we can do a lot more within inner cities, especially, and don't give me a round of applause for this because it isn't necessary, but we do nothing for art in our schools in this country. It's disgusting. We're always supposed to be the generation to help the next generation come up and be better than us. I did dancing in school when I was, we're going back 200 years when I was in school. And it's frustrating to think that we are not helping anybody. We're giving them information, lots of facts and figures. We are not teaching them creativity. And you know as well as I do that unless you're creative with facts and figures, you're not going to do anything with them. It doesn't matter. You're just going to be spout there. And yes, the H2SO2 makes this, and this becomes that. And if you put them both together, everything's going to bloody explode. And we're not interested in that. Be clever. Be clever. Be creative. And dance helps you be creative. And it makes you a better person. If you feel good inside from dancing, you're going to respect people more. You're going to respect the people around you. You're going to look after your community. You're going to help. You're going to feel as though you can be relied on, because we put people down so easily nowadays. I mean, you've seen it, the poor guy that was shot. I mean, you just go, oh, right. I was hearing a lady today who's an African-American newsreader. And she said she's moved house 3 times, and each time she's moved house, the police have been there. What are you doing? I'm just moving in my house. She had a gun from a policeman pulled out and put in her face while she's carrying stuff off the lorry into her house. So we have this picture that, this person's bad. We don't know them. We don't know what they do or anything else. So somehow to get society to come together in all different forms and get to know each other, dance can do that. It builds bridges. I've just done a movie with Pierre Delan, who does Mad Hot Ballroom. And he went out to Jaffa in Israel, and he taught 4 schools. 2 of them were Jewish schools, 2 of them were Palestinian schools. And he didn't tell the parents, he just told the parents he was going to teach the kids ballroom. He didn't tell them that he was going to put the Palestinians together with the Jews.
Yeah.
And it is the most remarkable thing where the kids will not touch. Won't touch. They pull the sleeves down so that they don't have to touch the person that they're dancing with. And you'll watch that develop across the movie to at the end, because he puts them in a competition, there's the mom in the yashmak and the burqa with the Jewish mom. They're saying, oh, well, yeah, give me your number and we'll go out for a drink afterwards. And the whole thing changes because these kids have got together, they're loving dancing, they're loving supporting each other, and it builds bridges. So I would love to see dance like that taken in a different aspect. So we're not just worrying about being the next best commercial dancer or the next best ballet dancer. We just enjoy dancing again. You give music to any baby, and that baby is just going to go like this. Somehow along the way, as we get older, we lose, I don't know, the confidence to dance.
Yeah, it's the inhibition.
We don't want to look stupid.
We become so frightened about how everybody else is going to view us.
Bit of alcohol, we're on the floor. Oh, yeah, get rid of that. I'm sorry, we need alcohol to do it, you know?
And this weekend, there's the Dizzy Feet Gala.
Dizzy Feet Gala this weekend. Please come along if you can. It's absolutely incredible. San Francisco Ballet, LA Ballet, Philly Danko is there, LXD is there, Dragon House we're bringing up from Atlanta, Merrimack School. A lot of the people that we're giving sort of scholarships to and are going to be there. We're honoring Eric Feig, who does the Step Up movies, Cheetah Rivera, absolutely. And a man that I met last Friday that just put chills up me, and he's being awarded, Patricia Kelly is going to be there and awarding him the Gene Kelly Award. His name's Arthur Mitchell, and oh good, you know him. Thank you, the 2 of you. He is the first black ballet dancer that joined a company. He joined New York City Ballet back in the 50s. Balanchine actually choreographed solos for him. and he went on at the height of his career. He left New York City Ballet and went to form, it was just after Martin Luther King had been assassinated, and he was inspired to go back to his community in Harlem, and he started this wonderful dance company called the Dance Theatre of Harlem. And he was just telling me these incredible stories. I mean, this is the wonder of being in the position that I find myself in now, of just being surrounded by incredible dance and dancers. And he's coming here, and we're honoring him with that award, justifiably so. Nelson Mandela, when he saw Dance Theatre of Harlem, he said, wow, this has been so special, what an incredible evening. Everything was so wonderful tonight, I've forgotten all of the problems that I've ever been through. Wow. And that is praise indeed from Nelson Mandela. So he's coming along. So just, if you can get there, just to meet that man and see that man. He is 79 now. He must have been to Beverly Hills because he looks like he's about 54. Nothing moved. No. Like Mary Murphy, you see.
He wouldn't say that if she was sat here.
I can't tell when Mary Murphy's mad at me. I can't tell anymore because the face is just, she's shouting at me and she still looks like that. I'm going, are you angry with me? Of course I'm angry with you. Well, stop smiling. Oh, what do you mean I'm smiling?
He wouldn't say that if she was here. On that note, before you get yourself in any more trouble, she'll be coming through that door any second. She'll have been watching on the internet.
She's wonderful. She's so passionate. She loves dance. She's so passionate. And she gets really upset at auditions because we always say to the kids, do you do ballet? Yes. Do you do tap? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you do jazz? Yes. Do you do contemporary? Yes. Do you do ballroom? No. Nobody does ballroom that does the sort of normal curriculum. So she gets very depressed about that.
She does.
But she starts on this level and then got nowhere else to go. So she's got to stay up there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nigel. Thank you for having a chat. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for doing the show that I love doing. That's such a great show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Ready?
I'm so pleased, and I understand that the panel is coming on now.
They are.
And Adam Shankman is going to teach you all how to actually prance.
Wait, there was a question you never got to answer.
Oh, a question?
There was a question, and I'm your answer.
Why do the younger generation think their dance careers are over at 30?
Most ballet companies now, the sad thing is ballet companies now with the corps de ballet around 29, 30 are starting to look younger. My granddaughter is 10. Australian Ballet Company have just taken her on board at 10. I think at 15 they kick them out if they haven't got the right shape and everything. It's a whole different world now. I can't quite believe what's going on, but yeah, she's 10. But like I've said, it's not the end of your career at 30. You go on and transition. That's what transitions for dancers is all about.
You could dance for the LA Sparks while recording there.
There you go. Yes, you can. You can go on X Factor. They take them at 99.